All right, ladies and gents, we are back with Tasting with Teas, courtesy of HelloFresh today. We are doing peppercorn-crusted beef tenderloin, which we have rinsed and have here. Brussels sprouts with Amandine and mashed sweet potatoes. These are Amandine, these are just almonds. We have our peppercorns, pomegranates, and all of our other ingredients. I have already shaved my sweet potatoes, so I'm going to throw them into I'm going to throw them into the water and let them boil. Just drop one. So I'm going to rinse that off and I'll be back. So I noticed the recipe called for us to cut up our sweet potatoes, which was a great call because it actually takes a little longer than the regular mashed potatoes. So I'm going to leave that on and let it cook until they're fork tender. Alright, so we have our Brussels sprouts. I have put on some regular light tasting olive oil, and that's what I prefer. You can use vegetable oil, canola oil, avocado oil. That's just what I prefer. So I just put some fresh pepper and kosher salt on here, and I'm going to put it in the oven until these are tender. Typically about 18 to 22 minutes is good. My oven, which I have preheated to 425. Whenever I'm roasting vegetables, I like to put it at 425, so it is already preset, and I'm gonna leave that in there. Potatoes are going. Now we're gonna prepare our beef tenderloin. Okay, so the next thing it calls for us to do is chop up these chives. Make sure you wash your vegetables. All vegetables need to be washed, okay? And then what we're gonna do is put these along with our chives in a bowl, or a bag rather, and we're gonna close them with a rolling pin right here. It says a heavy bottom pan or rolling pin. You can pour them onto a plate. Make sure they're on an even layer. Pat the beef dry, which we have it. See, it's leaking here because we rinsed it off. I'm going to pat it dry. Put a little sea salt on it, and we're going to press both sides until the peppercorns are evenly cooked, and we're going to cook it next. And this is what our next step is going to be. Alright, so as you can see, I have put the peppercorns in a closed bag and thinly sliced the chives. And you can get anything like a plate or a bag. I just got a regular old Ziploc bag and put them in here. Now I have a rolling pin, but if you do not have one, that is perfectly fine. You can get a heavy bottom pan and just put it on the bottom of it and just crush it, because that's all that we're going to be doing. And so I'll be back after I finish crushing these together. And this is what's going to coat our steak, and it's going to be so yummy. Yes! All right, guys, I'll be back. Alright, and I'm back, y'all. So now I have rolled out my chives with the peppercorns, and all I did was split the bag open because I want to get all of that goodness. It called for salt, so I put some salt on here. And now what we're going to do is just, we've pat our meat dry already, okay? So now we're just going to coat it in the peppercorn mixture with the chives, okay? Just like that. And like I said, I just split it open because I want to get everything on here, okay? So you just coat it just like that, and you may have some left over. That's okay, that's fine. It's gonna look like that. And so I'll put the next one in here and just coat it all with the goodness of those peppercorns and chives, and turn it all over and let it get all on the steak, okay? Now it said to heat our pan with some oil, so I again use some olive oil, and I'm heating our pan. What I like to do is just get a little water. It's not ready yet. We want to make sure it's sizzling hot. Put a little water in it, just a dash. That makes sure that it is ready. So I have this one done. Once it's hot, we're going to put it on the pan. And I'm going to wash a few dishes real quick, do a little housekeeping while the pan gets hot, and I'll be right back with you guys. Alright, y'all, so we got a hot pan. I got a cast iron skillet. It calls for a little oil, so I'm just turning it around like that. I'm gonna let that cook. It says we need to add our beef stock that came with HelloFresh. We'll add that in there, just like that, right? Put it back a little bit. And then it says to add some water. So it said add 2 tablespoons of water. This is 2 tablespoons right here. I'm going to add that in there, let that cook, and we'll be back. So while the steak cooks, what we're going to do is add our 2 tablespoons of butter along with our sour cream that I have already added. So here's 1 and here is 2. So we're just going to stir that around, let it get all nice and melted. I have already mashed the sweet potatoes. I'm going to let this get melted and then we'll be back. Our steak should be done in just a moment. Yes, and then we have our Brussels sprouts that are roasted and done. So I'll see you guys in a sec. Alright y'all, so our steak has reached a nice consistency. You can cook it to your desired middle. So if you like medium rare, medium well, you can cook it to your desired cooking. This one here is like a medium rare, so I'm going to leave it in a little longer because I don't really like it too pink in the middle. So I'm going to let it cook a little bit longer. But as you can see, it has pretty much cooked through on the outside, has a nice coating, the peppercorns and the chives. Our sweet potatoes are done and I'm going to plate in just a moment. Alright y'all, so it is now time to plate. Our steak has gotten a little more done. So I'm using the portion plate today. Me and my son are on our little plan and he's doing really well. So we have our meat, which should be the size of the deck of cards. As you can see, this is where that goes. We have our sweet potatoes that we made and our roasted Brussels sprouts. So now I am going to just get a little bit of that beef stock that we put in the pan and just sprinkle that over, but not too much because we still have our remaining chives that we had and melted butter. So we'll pour that right over the top just like that, not too much, and voila, you have your meal. Alright, so y'all tell me how I did. We have our steak with our Brussels sprouts and our sweet potatoes here. You can add chives to the sweet potatoes if you want. I chose not to. And the almonds as well to the Brussels sprouts. This is also optional, but I love almonds, so I'm gonna leave those on there. Their butter is like a pasted butter. I melted mine, but it's the same thing with the remaining chives. So I hope you guys give this a try by HelloFresh. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Till next time, this is Tasting with Tea.